Rev your engines and fasten your seatbelts. It's time for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey, keeping you up to date on everything going on this season at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Now, here's your host, Dan Bailey.
Hey, race fans, welcome to another edition of Thunder Talk. I'm Dan Bailey. I love talking with new feature winners, first-time feature winners specifically at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, and that's exactly what we get to do with this week's edition of Thunder Talk. I would like to welcome to Thunder Talk this week, first-time late model feature winner at Mississippi Thunder Speedway last Friday night, Matt LaDuke, driver of the number 17. Matt, welcome to Thunder Talk.
Hi, how's it going?
It is going great. You have got to be on cloud nine after your first-time feature win at Mississippi Thunder Speedway last Friday night. Was it exciting for you as it was for the jam-packed grandstands, all the race fans who were there for the Casey Knutson Memorial K-Town Clash night?
Yeah, it was definitely awesome. That night just meant a lot more knowing that we were pretty good buddies with Casey. It was definitely one to win.
You know, you've had a good 2021 season with your USRA late model. You picked up your career first feature win a few weeks ago up at Cedar Lake Speedway, and you've been building momentum all season long at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Did you feel coming into the program last Friday night that things were lining up for you to have a good run at the track last Friday?
Yeah, we actually got a new car this year, and it's been a very consistent car, which has helped us with our momentum. I mean, confidence is a big key with it, and it has definitely helped us a lot with these good finishes we've been having.
Do you feel like, I've been looking through your stats, and you've actually had a great 2021 season. According to MyRacePass.com and the app, you've got 15 starts. 14 of those 15 starts have produced top 10 finishes. 10 of those 15 are top fives, and now 2 feature wins. I mean, that's a great stat rundown for 2021, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great for sure. We've had some really close seconds and a couple where we probably should have had them, but I think the driver just needs to hold himself together a little more when he's out there.
You had mentioned that for 2021 you've got a new car. Is it a new power plant as well? Do you feel like that is part of what's helping you have such a successful year this season?
It's not new. I mean, my dad ran it last year, but we've been running them 351s for it, so that's what we ran in the old car too.
Now, 2 weeks ago, on the 23rd at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, you were able to battle to a pretty strong second-place finish. I mean, I thought 2 weeks ago you were going to break your way into Victory Lane at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Was that some momentum that allowed you to come into last week's event and feel confident that you could not only race up front, but also challenge for that feature win?
Yeah, it definitely helped a lot. Starting up front definitely made a big difference with the way the track was. I just knew I had to get up there quick, and hopefully the 11 wouldn't catch me, but he ended up breaking, which sucked to see. But I just knew if we could hold our own, we'd do good.
When I talk with an individual who's picked up their very first feature win, I like to ask them about what it felt like in the closing laps if they realized what was headed their direction. Now, you already technically had that first feature win, but, this is also just as special. Mississippi Thunder Speedway being your quote-unquote home track. You grew up just down the road, and here you are at MTS. You're at the front of the field in the closing laps, battling for that first feature win at MTS. Did you start to think about it and realize that first win was probably coming just a few turns away?
I wouldn't say it hit me until the last lap or so. Normally I'm pretty good under pressure, but the last lap it really did hit me.
When you have a year like this, I know that in any sport it's always a team sport, and it is a team sport, and motorsports is a team sport as well. I know you're behind the wheel, but there's always somebody helping. There are always friends, family members, etc. Do you have a list, a rundown of thank yous that you want to toss out here this week on the heels of that first feature win at Mississippi Thunder Speedway?
Well, first I got to thank my dad. Obviously, without him, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. My brother-in-law, Cody, he helps a lot on the car throughout the week. And then Lance Holker, he's a huge part in helping on the car. He knows his stuff big time. And then this winter, we actually had the car down to Chad Simpson, which won last year at one of the big shows at Fountain City. And he just kind of gave the rundown on the car and put a little setup in it, and it's been good all year.
Have you started thinking at all about beyond 2021? Do you know what you might be doing in the 2022 season or a couple of years from now? Or do you feel like now that you're really getting this car figured out, that 2022 will hopefully just be a follow-through with the success that you're enjoying in 2021?
Yeah. We're probably just going to stick with the class. Obviously, money's a big part in it. It's fairly cheap class compared to the other ones out there. And all the drivers are pretty clean, so we'll probably just stick with it and hope for even beat next year, I guess.
Well, you brought up the class. Let's talk about the Centerville Welding and Repair USRA late model division at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. It's been around for several years now. It's a division that Bob Tim introduced not only at MTS but really into the racing world. And it has taken, admittedly, a couple of years really to grow some momentum, but now it's pretty regular for us at Mississippi Thunder Speedway to enjoy upwards of 20 cars, sometimes 24, 26 cars on the same evening on the high banks there. And you guys are getting to compete at different tracks around the upper Midwest. Do you feel like this class itself is growing as well, just at the right time that you are maturing and becoming a feature winner?
Yeah, it's a great class as far as how limited it is. I mean, nobody can really go out and do their own thing without being controlled by it. As far as cars, yeah, it's great that it's picking up. And if Deer Creek would pick us up full time, that'd be awesome. As a class would really take off then.
So you have run regularly at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Obviously, you've been up to Cedar Lake Speedway. That's where you got your first feature win. You've been to Deer Creek Speedway on a couple of occasions. Do you feel like you might be trying out a couple of other tracks, or have you been able to visit any other tracks where they've had one-off events with the USRA Late Model Division?
We went to Eagle Valley Speedway a couple weeks ago, and we ran pretty good there. Other than that, Cedar Lake runs us quite often, and Deer Creek here and there. I think we have 4 shows there this year, and Ogilvy has a special that we're looking to hit up later in the year.
Well, Matt LaDuke, you've picked up your second feature win of the 2021 season behind the wheel of your number 17 USRA Late Model. Your very first feature win on the high banks at Mississippi Thunder Speedway with your USRA Late Model. So congratulations on not only your big splash last Friday night, but also your successful 2021 season. And we wish you the best of luck as we move through this second half of 2021. Thank you very much for joining us this week on Thunder Talk.
Yep, thank you, Dan.
Hey, folks, don't forget this Friday night, Mississippi Thunder Speedway back in action with laps on the track at 7:15. You'll see action by River City Manufacturing USRA Modifieds, Centerville Welding and Repair USRA Late Models presented by Big Toy Storage with, I'm sure, Matt LaDuke trying to pull a double and pick up his second feature win at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Also turning laps this Friday night, Black Horse Bar and Grill USRA B-Mods, Jailhouse Saloon USRA Hobby Stocks, and Sunshine Refuse MTS Hornets, all as part of LT Construction Night at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Check them out on all their social media platforms, and also don't forget to visit the official Mississippi Thunder Speedway website for details at MississippiThunder.com.
That was Thunder Talk, keeping you up to date on everything going on at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
You ever notice that when you're on a fishing trip, you drive your boat all the way to the other side of the lake because you think that's where the best fishing is? And the people staying at the cabins on that side of the lake, well, they come and fish where your cabin is. You don't have to drive a long ways to catch the big fish. And at Arcadia Motors, you don't have to drive a long ways to get the best deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram truck. The best deals are right in the bay next to your cabin. Take the short, scenic drive to Arcadia Motors. ArcadiaDodge.com.